Everything you've been told about self-care barely even scratches the surface. Bubble baths, scented candles, treating yourself, they're all nice, but are they actually helping your mental health? Or are they just temporary fixes that don't solve the deeper issues? If you've ever felt like your self-care isn't working, then you just might be focusing on the wrong things. Today, I'm discussing real self-care, the kind that actually improves your mental health, not just the stuff that gives you a short break from stress. So, let's talk about better self-care. Real self-care isn't just about escaping from stress for a little while, it's about managing it in a way that actually improves your life. By the way, I'm Jeremy, a mental health counselor and writer, and on this channel, I focus on making better mental health simple by exploring the stuff you can do to tackle issues and improve your mental well-being. I'm all about no-nonsense advice that actually works. Today, I'm breaking down what real self-care actually looks like, why it's so important for your mental health, and 5 ways you can practice self-care that genuinely makes a difference. So, what is self-care really? Self-care gets thrown around a lot as a buzzword, usually alongside images of people smiling serenely while holding an overpriced Mocha Choco matcha latte. And look, if that's your thing, great, but that's not real self-care. True self-care is about supporting your mental, emotional, and physical well-being in the long term, even when that means making tough choices, setting boundaries, or doing the unglamorous stuff like getting to bed on time instead of watching just one more episode. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about being well in the long run. Now then, why does real self-care matter for good mental health? Well, neglecting proper self-care is like running a car without ever stopping for fuel or maintenance. You might keep going for a while, but eventually things will start breaking down, and that engine will eventually explode. Poor sleep, chronic stress, emotional exhaustion, these don't just appear out of nowhere. They're often the result of long-term neglect in the areas of your well-being that actually matter. When you consistently look after yourself in a proactive way, you build resilience, regulate your stress levels, and improve your overall mental well-being. So how do you actually do that? Let's talk about 5 ways to practice real self-care. Rest regularly without guilt. In a culture that glorifies busyness, it can feel uncomfortable to slow down. But rest is not laziness, it's essential. Your phone needs to be recharged regularly, and so do you. So whether it's taking a break during the day, having a slow weekend, or giving yourself permission to switch off entirely in the evenings, real self-care means recognizing when you need rest and allowing yourself to take it without guilt. You are not a machine, and your productivity does not determine your worth. And besides, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing at all. Next, lower the bar. Because seriously, you're doing too much. Self-care isn't about having to cram 57 wellness rituals into your week. It's about making life easier for yourself, not harder. If you're exhausted, burnt out, or overwhelmed, stop expecting yourself to function at 100% all the time. Give yourself permission to lower the bar. Eat simple meals. Let the house be messy if you need rest. Do the bare minimum for a while, if that's what it takes to get through. You really don't have to prove anything to anyone. Next, stop the things that drain you. If you always leave someone's presence feeling emotionally wrung out, it's time to rethink why they're in your life. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they're good for you now. Just because someone is family, that doesn't mean you have to tolerate toxic behavior. If a relationship feels like a constant energy drain, distance yourself. That's not cruel, it's self-preservation. The same goes for social media and negative news cycles. Protecting your mental well-being starts with recognizing what's influencing it and limiting the stuff that drains you. And yes, you can stay informed without having to overdose on news. Not everything or everyone that grabs your attention is good for your mental health. So you need to be mindful and intentional about who has access to you and what that access looks and feels like. Next, stop waiting for a better time to start taking care of yourself. How often do you tell yourself, I'll start eating better after this stressful project? I'll rest properly once things calm down. I'll get serious about my mental health when life is less hectic. Newsflash, life never fully calms down. There will always be something competing for your time, energy, and attention. So the best time to start prioritizing yourself is now, not later, not when it's convenient, and not when everything is perfect, because it never will be. Start with what you can do today and build one step at a time. Your future self will thank you for it. Next, ask for support when you need it. One of the biggest acts of self-care is recognizing that you don't have to do everything alone. Whether it's reaching out to friends, family, or a professional, or joining a support group if your budget doesn't stretch to counseling or therapy, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Mental and emotional well-being are built on connection. Bottling everything up and trying to power through doesn't work long term. If you're struggling, talk to someone. And if you find yourself resisting the idea of seeking help, ask yourself why. Often, the biggest barrier to getting support is the belief that you should be able to handle everything on your own, but that's just not realistic, and you don't have to struggle your way through challenges on your own, and nor should you. Here's the thing. Real self-care is about consistently showing up for yourself in ways that actually matter. The way you rest, the way you manage who has access to you, the way you nourish your body and mind. It all adds up over time, and it shapes your well-being. And while self-care won't magically erase stress or hardship, it will equip you to handle them with more clarity, strength, and resilience. So what's one thing you're definitely going to do for your future well-being? Let me know in the comments and let's talk. You can explore today's topic in more detail in the full-length episode of the Let's Talk About Mental Health podcast, and watch this video next for proven tactics to reduce stress fast. It's linked on screen and in the description below. And if you want more no-nonsense mental health advice, subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Thanks for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time.